on the previous episode of Menage À Mind.
I see my body as a separate entity from myself. I am just as perfect or even more perfect than I thought I was. I had one strong tear fall from my eye.
Let's talk about sex. Do you want to have more sex? Do you want to have better sex? I assume the answer is yes. But before we get there, can we have a conversation on self image? Did you know that a woman consumes 400 to 600 advertisement per day? One out of 11 of those advertisements speak directly to what the standard beauty of a woman should look like. By the age of 60, most women have consumed at least 6 million views of advertisement telling her exactly what she should look like. One of the reasons why in relationships intimacy is not a priority or is not being practiced to the degree that we would desire is due to the relationship that society has negatively forced on women and their body. After consuming such high demands of standard of beauty that really does not reflect society as a whole, different cultures, different ethnicities, different shapes, these women tend to have a low relationship with the way that they view themselves, low self-esteem, no longer feeling desirable, wanted, or even valued. Us men, we ain't got to deal with that. We celebrate the dad bod. But after a woman gives birth, we're all waiting on the snap back. Better yet, us men, we are judged by our finances. We are judged on our social class. We are judged on how well we're doing it in our professional career. If we want to look good, a suit, some designer items, and a fresh haircut, we be feeling like we top five. In reality, women are judged by those things along with how good she looks. How does she dress? Could you understand what a woman has to go through every morning when she's deciding what to wear? Skirt, dress, pants, how will that be perceived? How will that be received? And etc. In order for us to foster more intimate, healthy intimacy in our relationship, we must first address the oppressive society that we're a part of that have systematically changed and directed the way that women view themselves in the mirror. Welcome to the greatest podcast on earth, Menage À Mind. In order to have this conversation, I reached out to one of the best sex therapists that I know, and she is right here. Do you mind introducing yourself, please?
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Jennifer Smith, and I'm a sex therapist, marriage and family therapist, mental health therapist, and I practice in the Virginia area.
And you are one of the best in the game.
Thank you.
You've been on
Thank
Essence, you've
you.
been on TV shows, you've been everywhere.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride so far.
And one of the reasons I reached out to you is because I felt that this conversation needed to take place, but I
Mm,
also needed the perspective of another professional that also identify as a woman,
yeah.
which would allow the perspectives to be different and relate to this issue in a grander form.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you want to talk about it because I hear about it all the time in therapy or in workshops. So it's a very applicable topic. I just feel like it needs a wider lens on it.
I agree. So, from your expertise and experience,
Yeah.
apart from these advertisements,
hmm
what are some of the obstacles or oppressive behaviors, mindsets that are affecting the way that women show up sexually
hmm
in relationships?
Yeah, a lot of it comes from past body shaming from other partners, or sometimes body shaming from family members.
Really?
Yeah, I hear it a lot in Black families, especially. When you're talking about like we put so much focus on the woman to snap back, that definitely is something I see a lot with couples that have become first time parents. You know, the woman is just not feeling comfortable in her body, and our partners are putting pressure on them to lose weight, or you know, like get back in the gym, or I bought you a gym membership, why won't you go?
Oh, we have a Peloton. Get on it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that pressure to get your body back for their sexual pleasure isn't a shared experience. Like that is the point of sex, is having it be a shared experience. So when you're putting all this pressure on the woman to lose weight or to alter her body to make it pleasurable for you, you're not doing her any favors.
And when did this idea that a woman's body is to simply serve
Hmm.
the individual that they are with?
Well, I think it goes back to, you know, like 50s, 40s of women were there to please and serve their husbands, can be completely submissive. Your body is there to provide pleasure for your husband and procreate. There were no conversations about pleasure, orgasms, uh nothing about a woman's sexual desires. It was all about serving your man.
Is
And I
that
think that was even like the slogan back then, was like serving your man.
I mean, see, I'm young. I'm only 31. Yes, 31, right?
Allegedly.
No, it is. I just did the math, right? And in reality, I can't see myself just living and seeing my wife's body as just my toy
Yeah.
or my means to pleasure.
Mhm.
Sex is supposed to be mutual pleasure,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're supposed to make love to each other.
Mhm.
We're supposed to please each other. We're supposed to curate a space in which we can live out all of our fantasies as long as it fits the standard and the boundaries of our relationship.
Yeah.
So, what conversation actually needs to take place between husband and wife,
Mhm.
boyfriend and girlfriend,
Yeah.
including all other relational type and sexual orientations, right?
Mhm.
What conversations do you feel like needs to happen?
I really do encourage people to have conversations of what are your sexual desires? What are your sexual pleasures? What do you really enjoy about sex? And what are your hard no's when it comes to having sex? But people are scared to ask those questions. Sometimes because they don't care. They don't really want to know, because then that's more work for them, which is, these are all things I've heard, by the way. But I do ask and encourage people to have those conversations and asking their partner about what do they really like about sex, and what do they want to experience it in this relationship with that partner. But also talking about what your hard no's are. A lot of people have boundaries of things that they're not willing to try, don't want to do, and people don't voice that enough. And I see that a lot when couples come in at, there was something that happened in a sexual experience that they now have to talk about
Hmm.
because somebody did something that triggered a response. And so it's really important for me to encourage people to have those conversations early before getting to a point where now someone feels uncomfortable having sex.
Yeah.
I do encourage people, you know, this is such a therapist thing, but I ask people to talk about if they have any history of sexual trauma
Ha
with a partner.
ha. That you see, those topics tend to be very difficult
Mhm.
because one, we don't have the language to really share how
Yeah.
it affected us.
Yeah.
And there's a degree of shame
Oh,
and
100%.
self-blaming.
Yep.
And a lot of times men tend to be the perpetrator. So now when you're sharing your traumatic experience with another male,
Yeah.
their questioning becomes, well, what did you do?
Mhm.
How were you dressed, right?
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
even understanding how the semantics that they are using is supporting
Yeah.
that trauma or
Yeah.
reinforcing it, as opposed to being empathetic and understanding and
Totally.
creating that safe space for
Mhm.
such conversation.
And that's why most women don't open up about their sexual, would say, you know, scratch that. Most people don't open up about their sexual trauma because they don't feel like it's a safe space. Because they might have opened up to a previous partner that
Hmm.
did shame them or hold it against them later in an argument, which that unfortunately happens pretty often. But a lot of people just need to feel safe to disclose that. And I mean, any of the men I've ever worked with that have been sexually abused in the past really don't tell their female partners. They really don't. And I wish they did, because that holds them back sexually too.
And I wonder, do us men view our early sexual experiences that we didn't really consent to as trauma, right?
No,
Because
they don't.
it's a badge of honor to have
Mhm.
slept with an older woman when
Yeah.
we were very young,
Yeah.
right? It's a badge of honor for just experiencing touches in our private parts,
Yep.
right? So a lot of times when we do share that within the male that are in our lives, they celebrate us.
Yeah.
You're the man, right?
Mhm.
They give us that validation and that title that we are all seeking.
Yeah.
Now, what is the ideal standard beauty? Because I know what I
Mm.
like, I know what I desire,
Yeah.
but I really need to know, like, based on the stats on plastic surgery,
Mhm.
based on the amount of BBLs that are taking place now,
My gosh, yeah.
what is the ideal standard beauty nowadays?
I don't really know. I feel like it's different. It's different for different races.
Okay.
I think it's different for different generations.
Okay.
I think for me, the way I view the standard of beauty is people who feel free in their body,
Okay.
feel physically free to dress how they want, own who they are, like really embrace the skin that they're in.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
But based on society and media,
uh,
what is the ideal standard beauty?
I think the ideal standard beauty then is small waist, big butt, big full lips. Uh yeah, long hair. Those are like the standards. That's what I see all the time.
So if that is the standard beauty, could we say that it's derived from Africa?
I don't know. That's a
Because
good question.
if you go back to the
Yeah.
homeland, that's exactly what we are seeing: small waist,
Yeah.
big booty,
Mhm.
long hair,
Yeah.
and etc.
Mhm. I mean, I think it definitely I would say society wouldn't say that, right? Or mainstream media wouldn't say that. But for us, knowing our history, yeah, we would. But I don't think mainstream would say that.
What is it that we need to do as men?
Mhm.
Right. I want you to hold us accountable.
Mm.
Right. This is
Okay.
all about accountability here. Right.
Mhm.
What is it that us men that are married, that are in healthy, long lasting relationships,
Yeah.
how do we ensure that we're not adding to the oppression that women are feeling in regards to their body?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I think just embracing your wife's or partner's bodies as it is evolving,
Okay.
right? Like you marry this person because you want to be with them, right? And you want to grow old with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to have babies with her. And so that is part of the evolution of her body. And so like embracing that and celebrating that, like I can't remember any guy really praising their wife of like the stretch marks that are now going to be permanently on her body because she carried life.
I do.
You do?
I
Do you know anybody else that does that though?
I can't speak for nobody else, but I do. I find my wife the sexiest when she's pregnant or
Mhm.
after giving birth.
Okay.
Her hips spread, that booty just gets bigger. I don't know what is it about her carrying life
Yeah.
just gets me going,
Mhm.
right? Because you're sacrificing your body.
Yeah.
Like you are invaded by something else, and your body's function is now to keep that baby alive
Yeah.
as opposed to you, your
Mhm.
second thought.
Right.
Right. So just seeing that sacrifice and that dedication to the family, to
Mhm.
bringing new life to our generation
Yeah.
gets me going every time I see it.
Well, I wish more men felt like that, but I don't know that they all appreciate or worship the woman's body like that before, during, or after pregnancy.
I so the famous question, do I look fat in distress?
Mm.
What is the right answer? I have one, but I want to hear yours first.
I feel like that question is such a setup. Yeah, I always feel I hate when women actually ask this question because I think it's a setup. I
But
think
I understand why it's asked,
I,
because you are looking for reassurance and
yes.
validation from your partner.
I always when guys have asked me this, I always say tell them that this dress just doesn't highlight their
Oh
beauty.
wow, that wouldn't work.
No.
Oh, no, 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 no.
This doesn't
That
highlight your
would
beauty.
not
Doesn't
work.
compliment you. Like you have to let them
That's
know if
still
it's
a
not
negative
working.
statement, right? And if a woman is already feeling low self-esteem or
Mhm.
low view on how she looks
Mhm.
and how sexy she feels, I think this further proves to her that she's not the ideal standard beauty.
Just because of one outfit?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's that deep. It's that intricate, right?
Mhm.
Because it's these small moments that really adds up to how they really feel, right?
I mean, I get that. I do feel that.
So my answer
Mhm.
always is, girl, you look good in everything.
Mm.
Everything.
So then if she decides to change the outfit, you're like, I'm off the hook.
She decides to change the outfit. I take it a step further. Damn, that looks good. Because
But even if you don't feel like the dress maybe doesn't look the best?
I know she looks amazing with whatever she wears.
Okay.
The dress may not highlight
Mhm.
how amazing she looks, but at the end of the day, I know what she looks like, right? And if she's around me, we're not seeking others' perception or validation,
Okay.
right? I'm your man, you're my woman. It is
Mhm.
my job and my responsibility to ensure that you always feel your best,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Whatever you choose to wear, however you choose to dress, I don't care. You like it, I love it.
Yeah.
My hand will be on that ass. I'll be stroking all parts of your body. I'll be whispering nasty things into your ears and text.
Well, there you go.
And I will make sure that energy is kept throughout the whole night. I am the least appropriate person at the right time. I'm
Okay.
that dude that you sitting next to your parents, I'm gonna send you that text.
Mm.
Right?
Yes, I am the same. Yeah. Yeah.
We go to dinner, you wearing a dress, hey, walk to the bathroom, take off your panties and bring it to me. I'm not asking, I'm telling.
Oh, see? Women like when a guy can make like takes control in that way.
It also reminds the woman that my partner finds me attractive.
Yeah.
They make me feel wanted.
Mhm.
And so therefore they look forward to giving themselves to you.
Oh yeah, definitely. But not enough people engage in that way. I talk about that a lot in different workshops of how much do you desire your partner and how much do you let them know that?
I love that topic.
Yeah.
Here's why. We always talk about love, but we never talk about lust.
No.
You need a significant of lust
Mhm.
to have a healthy, long-lasting relationship.
You do. Yeah.
Especially for us men, right? Because
Mhm.
it's said that we're visual,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So I think us men need to do a better job of staying in shape,
Mhm.
maintaining our appearance, and not getting too comfortable because the lust work both ways. Too
Mm.
often we're telling women to wear this, do that, wear lingerie,
Yeah.
use this, use that. But us men, we're just showing up in our regular 3-year-old Calvin Klein boxes. That don't make
Yeah.
sense.
No.
Us men, we have lingerie as well, brother.
Yes.
Get dressed,
Yeah.
role plays,
Mhm.
bring your own toys.
Yeah.
There are so many things that we can do ourselves to spice things up, and too
100%.
often we we delegate
Oh my
the
gosh, yes.
bedroom to the responsibility of the woman.
100%. 100%. When guys come into therapy, they're always coming with like this long list of shit that they want the woman to do or bring or have or like, well, she doesn't do this and this and I'm like, I'm sorry, where are you at in any of this? Like, this is supposed to be a shared experience,
Right?
right? What are you doing? Like, you can't just come and bring the penis and like that's it. Like, there got to be some other stuff going on. This is supposed to. We're building intimacy here, and that involves both people.
hmm
That involves both people.
When did we become so audacious
Mhm.
over women being our property, our sexual property?
I really think that that comes from how you were raised, right? Like what you see growing up.
That's a cop out.
well, let me take it a step further. When I mean like in your household, like I think media plays a
Of
role,
course.
right? Or music. But I think even in your household, if you grew up in a two-parent household where you saw your dad like being affectionate with your mother, like that shows you more shared intimacy, right? Like, or them going out on date nights or kissing each other or hugging each other. But I feel like when people have grown up in single parent homes and you saw your mother just having like multiple boyfriends,
Hmm.
you just saw it be more transactional.
Yes.
More women are more comfortable with those situations where the man is just kind of like giving them directions.
Correct. But at what age is that no longer an acceptable excuse? Because I personally feel that it is our responsibility as adults
Yeah.
to do our work. And that
Mhm.
requires us to uncondition ourselves,
Yeah.
right? So I can't be 30, 40, still behaving in that manner because of what I experienced at home
Yeah.
when I was a young child. There's
True.
enough podcasts, there's enough information out there
There's enough therapy out there.
to go and learn. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You cannot just show up and just expect your partner to be your porn star,
Yeah. No.
your slut.
No.
That's okay,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Totally.
Yes, but what are you providing for
Mm-hmm.
that? How you're curating the space.
Yeah.
When was the last time you lit a candle? When was the last time you ran her a bath, a
Yeah.
bubble bath?
Right.
When was the last time you gave her a massage and a happy ending?
Shit. When's the last time you told her she was beautiful? It's just simple. Like I'm like just the words, like the affirmations of saying how you feel and think about that person does a lot for women. Right? Like we would much rather have say you're beautiful or compliment us or give us praise before lighting candles and running baths. 100%. But guys miss the mark on that a lot. They miss the mark on that a lot.
I think that we failed to realize the power of our words,
Yeah.
where it's so easy to destroy
Hmm.
versus build,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when I do get couples, it's easy to
Hmm.
think of the criticisms.
Yes.
It's easy to think of the things that your partner is not doing well.
Yeah.
But when it comes to sharing the accolades, the affirmation, the
Yeah.
positive things, that's where the struggle comes in.
I think because a lot of times men are not taught or have learned how to verbalize. They're
No,
right? Like they're
we
not always
do it when we date. Listen,
ah
I will sweat talk your panties off if we are dating. And most men are very well versed in
mm,
knowing what to say and what to do when they desire a woman, when they are lusting after a woman at first. Then, right, because our brain plays a pivotal part
yeah.
in relationships, the
Mhm.
dopamine being released is not as high,
Mhm.
especially if it's a long-term relationship,
Yeah.
right? So the lust is not there to that same degree because we're seeing the person every day. They've had
Mhm.
children. We have responsibilities.
Right.
Sex becomes a routine.
Mhm.
So therefore, the lust is no longer reminding us
Yeah.
here are the things that you must partake in order to actually meet that lust that you are seeking,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So for me, cheat code, right? I'm all about the cheat codes. How do I make my life easier?
Yeah.
On my calendar, I have prompts throughout the day. Send that text,
Yeah.
go give her a kiss,
Mhm.
go grab that booty, go smack that booty, right? All of those things
Yeah.
to continue to keep the lust alive.
Mhm.
With that being said, as a sex therapist,
Yeah.
what are the different ways that men and women can go about increasing and keeping the lust in their relationship?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you said is pretty spot on of just like setting those reminders, right? Like making the intention. And that's what I find a lot of people are not doing. They're not creating the time. They're not creating the time or the
Mm-hmm.
space. And I'm like, yeah, you guys have to like sometimes schedule a date night or schedule sex. And they're like, but that feels so, like it's not very sexy. And I'm like, y'all ain't even having sex. So let's just try to get there, like you have to have the time together. So create a date night, make the space, hire babysitters, like whatever, but you have to be intentional,
Yeah.
Even just recently I had a couple, I asked them, does their bedroom reflect where they want their sex life to be? And
Wait. Repeat that.
did their bedroom reflect how they want their sex life to be?
My answer is no. So I got some homework to do. But
Exactly.
go ahead.
Yes. So they both started laughing, and they were like, "Yeah, our room is like a disaster. There's clothes everywhere. The kids are in there. Like it doesn't. There's and they were like,
Never thought of
they were like,
that.
there's clothes on the bed, and I was like, so if the room is so chaotic, how do you have intimacy in there? It's not a very welcoming space to even want to desire your partner. So I asked them to clean the room together to make it more reflective of the space that they want to be in together.
Now fuck that. I'm changing my lights to red. All velvet. A chair in the corner. The spanking bench. The massage table right there. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
That's a major cheat code.
A lot of people don't, their bedrooms do not reflect how they would like to be intimate.
Okay. So now let me push back on that, right?
Yeah.
We are currently in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
We don't got that much space. Let's be honest. We have kids. They want to sleep with us. They in our room 24/7.
Yeah.
The television is there. We're eating in there. We're just laying in there. There's really not that much space to have a room that's basically dedicated to intimacy. But I don't live in New York. I'm in Jersey. I got space. So, do I create a sex room?
Well, I don't think it's applicable for everybody to create a sex room.
I want a sex room.
Well, I mean, you can
I want
one,
a
right?
sex room.
You can have space to create a sex room, and I think it should be reflective of,
the type of sex that I want to have. Oh Lord,
the
Jesus.
two of you want to have,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Like it should be reflective of what
one side for me, one side for her.
Should be reflective of what your both sexual desires, but also talking about like the intention for this room and what are we doing to keep the children out of it? Like relatives when they come to visit.
That is what I'm thinking now. So the attic is a space that's not currently being used. And I did see the show on Netflix called The Sex Room.
Mm-hmm.
So I've thought of that, but I never followed through. But now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think even for people that don't have that much space, right? Like just in your room should be your oasis. Like it should be a safe space
in theory
for both of you.
In theory,
but
not in practice.
This is why the kids have their own room. Like you have to hold the boundaries with them.
Do you have kids?
I don't.
Okay. You'll not that I'm disqualifying you.
Yeah.
But when you have children, it's all about what's the easiest for us to do to just get through the day. So if that requires them sleeping in the bed with us, that a lot of times we'll allow that to happen.
What and I get that, and I hear that, and for sure I hear that a lot in my friend circles with who do have kids. But in therapy, I am hearing a lot of people, women using that as a cop out to not have sex.
Oh yes,
they're allowing the kids to come right in and be in the middle,
right in the middle.
So I don't have to worry.
Yes, which illustrates the separation that actually exists. I had a couple where the big old dog will sleep in the middle of them, and then we'll talk about how they haven't had sex for the past 6 months. Well, let's start by getting the dog out of the bed.
Yeah.
Let's start when we're going to sleep, maybe sleeping naked.
Right.
Let's start with a cuddle session of at least 10 minutes per day.
Right.
So it's these small instances and these small behaviors that can promote a greater sense and culture of intimacy.
Absolutely.
Next question for you, right? I speak to a lot of married men. A lot of us. For some reason, they always come to me with their most darkest desires and sexual needs. A lot of men would say that with my wife, I cannot act out certain fantasies because of the respect that I have for her. I myself have said those things. No, I can't do that to you because you're wifey. You're my wife, right? We have this perception that if we act out those fantasies, that it cannot be with someone that we respect. That further shows societal biggest issue.
Oh my gosh. I talk about this all the time. Yeah.
I've overcome it through a number of conversations with her and due to my wife being the coolest woman on earth and also reminding me, no, it's okay. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Because I have no problem doing anything that I want to do to you. I'm like, well, I welcome it. I welcome it.
Yeah.
Right. And she's like, but I welcome these things as well, but you're holding back.
Yeah.
So if you can't accomplish them with me,
Mhm.
then what's the game plan here?
Yeah.
As the expert,
Mhm.
what work must we do to uncondition ourselves
Yeah.
and understanding that respect for our female partners
Mhm.
does not exclude our ability to act out our fantasies.
Right. Yeah. There has to be communication in that piece of I want to do this and I don't want it to be disrespectful to you, but like getting that validation from your partner to say like it's a safe space and I'm not going to feel disrespected. I welcome that because I want to enjoy these pleasurable acts with you, like no matter how crazy it may seem, like we can talk about it. I think that it just really has to be the male has to be really validated that these sexual acts are okay and I'm not going to feel disrespected by it. But I do hear it a lot. I
Yeah.
hear it a lot. And
Can't do that to my wife.
I think it's always really sad that like the side chicks get like the better sex because the husbands don't want to have do these really freaky things with their own partners, and that's when you should feel most sexually free and really wanting to explore things when you're with your partner, right? This is the person you chose to be with. So I really encourage people to have those conversations and validate your partner and let them know like it is a total safe space.
Yeah.
And
And
your wife deserves to have the freaky sex too.
they actually want that more,
They
right?
do. Yeah.
I think I think that it's very healthy to have your regular type sex,
Mhm.
but also have the slut me out type
Yes.
sex.
Yes, I
You
love that.
need a you need a balance between the two just to keep the fire going.
Really, you do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Just because you're married doesn't mean that you lose desires or that your libido now all of a sudden drops off. Like you still want to keep it interesting and yeah, like still stay engaged.
hence why I created the Lust-A-Cation.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
vacation of me and the wife, but it's
Mm,
a Lust-A-Cation
yes.
where everything goes within the boundaries of the relationship. The
Okay.
word no does not exist. It's more
Mm,
about how can I accommodate,
right.
right? She packs my bag, I pack her bags.
Oh, I love that.
She picks up my clothes. I don't see it, nothing like that,
So
right?
if there's nothing in the suitcase when you get there, you know what it's on.
Exactly. I pack her clothes too because we're speaking in terms of lust.
Yeah.
I know the things that I want to see her in.
Mhm.
I also know the things I don't want to see her in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I know the items that I enjoy and would like to continue using
Mhm.
and etc.
Yeah.
Right? So I have found that a lot of couples really tend to prioritize going on vacation,
Yeah.
and that's because that's the first time they get to really have a chance to just be themselves with their partner without the responsibilities.
Yes.
However, that is not sustainable
No.
unless you're going on vacation every other month.
Right.
That is not sustainable.
Yeah.
So, to some degree, we do have to find a balance
Mhm.
of curating the time for intimacy,
Yeah.
no matter what our responsibilities are.
Oh, 100%.
And how do I ensure from now on you won't steal my idea of a lust occasion?
Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna
It's
s
branded, it's
I do
copyrighted,
love it, yeah, I do love it. I feel like that needs to be, like, a workshop, like, a whole trip.
a whole trip.
Yeah, like, where we host
I
it.
have two kids. They all were born from the lust occasion, man. I got caught up every time.
Yeah, I think, like, that should be, like, a whole event, like, invite couples out and encourage them to have a
Yeah,
lustification.
but that's the thing. Like the term lust
Yeah,
is not spoken of.
it's
It's
not.
as if like there's no
Only
room for that.
Yeah. Well, because I think people don't understand people I think when you hear the word lust, people usually put that with something negative.
Demonic
Yeah, like it's like
unfaithfulness.
right, exactly, like an
And
affair or strippers or like, OnlyFans. Like I feel like those are what people tie it to in these like very negative connotation, but like no, you can still lust your partner. I want you to.
speaking of OnlyFans, right? Which I feel like has a bad rep.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of amazing content that us men can learn from
100%.
when it comes to OnlyFans. There are these creators
Mhm.
that are producing amazing content that serves as a tutorial
Yeah.
for us males.
Yes.
Certain conversations are happening that I've never heard of.
Mhm.
Yo, shout out to Darling Nikki and Sage the Flame.
Okay.
These women content
Mhm.
is erotic, yes,
Mhm.
but it's so informational and educational
Yeah.
that I look forward to watching and learning.
Mhm.
The way they talk about the process, right?
Yeah.
The way that they explain how to satisfy a woman and how to be softer in bed
Yeah.
and how to please her.
Mhm.
That's a whole other cheat code.
Yeah. Oh my god, it is. It is. Because
Pornography don't have to be wham bam 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 bam. Like
no.
there is a lot that we could learn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ethical pornography, may I add, and pay
Yes.
for it.
Educational
Do
porn.
not
I
go on
like it.
Reddit and look for it.
Yeah.
Pay for it. These creators need to be paid.
100%. I think it's amazing when people create content like that and then men actually watch it or women watch it. I love that because a lot of people are not going to come to a class to learn about those things. They're
Yeah.
like, this is you can do this in the privacy of your own home. Like you can take notes. Once you buy it, you can rewatch it multiple times. Like I think there's something very valuable
You
about
can
it.
rewatch the same porn.
Yes, you can.
Once you've watched it, then you've climaxed. It's no longer going to have the same impact on you.
It depends on.
The dopamine release, it's not gonna be the
I
same.
don't know. I think it depends on the person.
Women are different. You guys can have multiple orgasms.
True.
Well, us men too. We have a refraction period,
Yeah.
but we can get busy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about semen retention? Are you pro that, against that, or you don't really care?
My personal answer is I like it. My professional answer is like my professional answer is I mean sometimes I think people need to consult their doctors if they're going to be doing it because for some people that have like different erectile dysfunctions, their sexual dysfunctions, like it's not in the best interest. So, but professionally I kind of like it. I
Kind of like what?
Semen retention.
Why?
Because those partners can go a lot longer.
Okay.
They I don't know why, but yeah, they go more rounds.
You are smiling. You are blushing.
I'm thinking of a memory.
Oh yeah. Okay. I think my males would be very upset at me if I didn't ask that. So ideally, how long should a man last?
I mean, every woman is different. When I have talked with women in the last year, most women don't like sex to be more than an hour. They like it to be like 40 minutes.
Of penetration?
Penetration. They don't even like
40 minutes of penetration alone, not including foreplay or nothing.
they like foreplay should be like 10 minutes.
40 minutes of penetration.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the research, a man ejaculates in about 7 minutes of penetration.
Only 7 minutes?
Yeah, so how are we getting
Wow.
40 minutes?
I don't know. I mean, that's what most other women say. I like long rounds, so I'm good.
The first round has to be the long round?
I mean, I've had some very adventurous partners. So I have gone maybe 2 hours of just intercourse.
Is that fun?
And
2 hours?
mm-hmm.
I feel like I would get bored.
There's a lot of things happening.
Okay.
There's lot.
Okay, got it.
There's lots of things happening.
Got it. I can read between the lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's different for everybody, and that's that's something else to talk about when having sex or be about to be intimate with your partner. Of like, what are your expectations of like how long you like it? How do you like foreplay? What kind of foreplay do you like, and how long, and things like that. So I think those are important conversations. But semen retention, I think it's more of like I feel like it's more of a hot topic now.
It's a myth. No, it's not a myth.
It's not a myth, but I feel like
it has
it
its
is
benefits.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It keeps your dopamine stored. It's not being released. It allows you to last longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely has its benefits.
It does. It does. But it's it's not for everybody, and nobody's gonna be mad at you if you do it or don't do it.
Okay. Now, this leads me to with you as a professional, what are the changes that needs to take place in society to stop this attack on women and their views of themselves?
Yeah. I think a lot of media has to stop putting this pressure on women that they have to alter their body in order to be accepted, or that they have to alter their bodies to get this type of man or this type of partner.
But does that ever work though? Like you go and you get a BBL to
Hmm.
be attractive to more males.
Hmm.
If the man didn't want you at first, he ain't gonna want you now.
You might get more attention, but it's going to be the attention that you're not always going to be wanting.
Which leads me to the psychology of being hot and being beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
When you are hot, it activates a different part of the brain
Yeah.
where you're just seen as a good time and someone to be sexual with.
Exactly.
When a man perceives you as beautiful, yes, you can be beautiful and hot,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it's about when they first look at you, what comes to mind, hot or beautiful.
Yeah.
When you're perceived as being beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
it's more about, okay, I want to take care of you, I want to be present with you, I want to build with you.
Yeah.
So this whole concept of the BBL
Mm-hmm.
does not really help if your goal is to start a family, have a long-standing relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like a lot of people with the extreme BBLs, like it just makes you a sexual object.
Do we even want? I'm gonna be honest. As the male here, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want something that's manufactured. It doesn't move the right way.
Mm-hmm.
It You smack it, it doesn't respond
It doesn't move. Yeah.
right. It doesn't feel. The softness is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's it feels fake.
Mm-hmm.
It feels really, really, really fake.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, we don't want that.
Yeah, I think like there's not enough conversations about like the long term effects, right? Like
Well, we don't know.
yeah, like there's well, I mean, yeah, much later there will be some
Mm-hmm.
studies done, right? But I think like there are not enough conversations of like getting these surgeries now, but also like what's this doing to your self esteem afterwards, right? Like because this is the thing I have about like even when they're society is promoting diets and surgery and things like that, you can still have low self-esteem after you have those surgeries. You still may not be accepting of your body because it's about being up here strong, right? Like not just strong and confident in your body, like your brain and your self-esteem has to be strong.
The obese clinics are one of the few spots that I would see flyers of surgery,
Mhm.
sculpting, and all of that.
Yeah.
Like you have these women coming for consultations and etc. And your advertisement is just based on how they can improve their body through plastic surgery.
Yeah.
That's a direct attack from a space that you should feel the most comfortable
Yeah.
and safe at.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
You have young girls
Mhm.
going in there and seeing the slim, light skinned woman
Yeah.
that they look nothing like and say, hey, if you want to do sculpting, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Even in a space like that?
Yep. Yeah. It's really men would be disgusted to know how often those things happen.
It's appalling.
Yeah. It's really, really I have become way more conscious of it since I started working with some clients that have eating disorders.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like appalled at how much those are just people feel like that's normal to have that literature out or to ask those questions. And I'm like, I'm here to see my PCP. Like, I don't want you to be trying to talk me into something that I ain't come here to sign up for.
Last time I saw it, I took all the flyers,
Mm-hmm.
put everything in the garbage.
Yeah.
And all the cards.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to say something to me, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
We can go on Instagram Live right now.
Yeah.
Because that's unacceptable. That's part of the conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
And it's being done in the spaces that women target the most and they're the most vulnerable.
100%. 100%. It's starting younger for kids too. Like even at the pediatrician's office, telling the kids that they have to lose weight or, like, oh, like you're developing quicker. Like those things they plant seeds in the kids' heads. They're already comparing themselves on TikTok and social media and things like that. And that we're have to be so conscious of how we are using language to kids about their bodies and self-esteem because all of those things they hold on to, and then when they become adults or in relationships we see the manifestation of that.
We also need to start holding these places more accountable.
Yeah.
Especially as professionals
Mm-hmm.
that only think of just their finances.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So moving forward, to everybody that's listening here,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you visit these type of places and you see these flyers,
Yeah.
post it.
Mhm.
and tag them into it and tell them that's not okay.
Yeah.
And that's not acceptable.
Mhm.
We should all feel loved, feel beautiful,
Yeah.
no matter how we look to outsiders.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
On average, 70% of couples tend to request sexual intimacy indirectly, while only 30% tend to be very direct.
Yeah.
Why? And if we're being honest,
Yeah.
men tends to be the initiators.
Yes, they do.
So
Yeah.
why is it that we tend to be more indirect versus being direct?
Mhm. People are more indirect because that's what they feel more comfortable with because they're afraid of rejection. They are afraid of rejection.
Ooh, okay.
If I'm direct and you shoot me down, then it was like obvious that you're not interested. But if it's indirect, then it's more acceptable of like, well, maybe they just didn't catch it, you
Should
know?
rejection be part of a relationship?
Oh yeah, like I think that should
I
reject
just
okay.
sorry.
Say-
Should rejection,
like rejecting sex?
yes, should that be a practice?
I don't know if I would call it rejecting, more of like
It is rejecting. I'm trying to initiate sex and you're telling me no. That's a rejection.
I think everybody has the right to say no to sex, whether it's male or female, in having a dialogue of why in the moment. Of like what's going on for you right now that you're not wanting to engage or not wanting
I have
something
a
else could be
headache.
going on.
I have a headache.
Okay.
Well, sex can cure that.
For some people.
An orgasm will cure a headache. It's
Yes.
even more effective than Tylenol. What else you got? Come on, let's go.
But I feel like everybody has the right to say no. But
That is a right, yes. But in a monogamous relationship
Mhm.
where you are the sole individual that I can be intimate with,
yeah.
is it fair for me to be rejected?
I don't think it's fair to be rejected continuously.
Okay. Define continuously.
Continuously. If I continue to keep initiating sex with you
Put a
every
number to it.
day,
Put a number to it.
I would
You-
say more.
This is Menage à Mind, baby. Put a number to it.
I say
Accountability go both ways.
yeah. If you are more than like 3 or 4 times
3 or 4 times in a day, in a week.
in a week,
Okay. So if the number's 3,
mhm,
I can try to initiate 3 times in one day.
sure.
Then on the 4th one, are you going to say yes just because it's?
I
the
think
4th
there
time?
just needs to be more of a conversation of what's really going on with that person of why they're not wanting to
Be
engage.
sexual.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really think there has to be a conversation because there is something going on at that
I
point.
don't like the word no because that's a form of rejection.
Mhm.
And in a relationship that is based on autonomy and understanding and agreement and collaboration,
Yeah.
there should be no room for rejection, especially when egos are involved, right?
Mhm.
And if there's a history of no's that feels like rejection,
Yeah.
that leads to a negative culture of me not voicing my needs,
Mhm.
allowing resentment to grow and potentially seeking outsiders to have those needs met. Instead, what I
Mhm.
encourage couple to do is accommodate,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Hey, right now I cannot perform sexually,
Mhm.
but I can provide you with a hand job,
Mhm.
or I can cuddle with you naked for 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So this way, no one is feeling rejected.
Mhm.
You still get a percentage of what you're asking for,
Mhm.
even though it's not everything. And I'm moving away from not participating at all, but to participating to a level that I'm comfortable with at this time period.
Okay. So what if in that moment I'm not available to accommodate you?
Such as, give me a scenario where
Okay.
that doesn't work.
So say woman is right like on her menstrual cycle
Mhm.
and she's just like I am just not feeling it right now. Like I don't feel like doing any of that. I'm having cramps, I have a headache, like I'm
Well,
tired.
that's understandable.
So there are
Yes,
scenarios where it's
in this
understandable. Yeah,
category,
yeah,
you know what? It's my first day.
yeah.
I'm hurting. I don't want to do shit.
Right.
On the 3rd or 4th day, I got you.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. All
So
right. I can see
technically,
the accommodating there.
I'm still
Gotcha. Okay.
accommodating, or I will hold you as you watch pornography and jerk off.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So there are ways that you can always accommodate to your partner.
Okay.
And that concept of no applies to everything in the relationship, financially,
Mm.
emotionally, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
Hey, babe, I would like for us to go out to dinner tonight with my friends. Girl, you know, I don't like your people. It's like, that ain't going nowhere. I don't like him. I don't like her. I'm
Right.
not going nowhere. Now you are rejected. Versus, I'm not a fan of your friends.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to go, but I'm willing to accommodate. How about I drive there,
Mhm.
I will stay for 2 hours, and then I will take an Uber back, or I'll take the car back, and you can take an Uber home,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
No rejection.
Mm.
Because rejection tends to be weaponized,
Oh, yeah.
especially to those in power.
Mhm.
And it creates this superiority complex that leads to contempt, which is a 97% predictor of divorce.
Yeah, definitely.
So in my home, the word no does not exist, not even with the kids. I
Okay.
want candy. Okay. I don't want to give you candy, but I know that you want something sweet. How about I cut up some fruits for you?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So this concept, no one is feeling neglected, unwanted, and undesired. And if we're being honest, the biggest issue that tends to lead to a lack of lust and intimacy
Yeah.
is the feelings of rejection.
Rejection. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
I've been consistently rejecting my partner. Now they're no longer initiating because they don't feel comfortable doing so, because they're self-preserving.
Yeah.
They're sleeping in a different bed. They're sleeping
Mhm.
on the couch. I'm not getting flowers no more because their needs are not being met, and
Right.
etc. It just creates a whole cycle
Oh,
of
definitely.
toxicity.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
Mhm.
are you in agreement that the word no should not exist in a monogamous relationship?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I like the word accommodate. I think that's better for sure. And I think like for a lot of people, yeah, like no means like an automatic rejection. And I think, yeah, there's layers to saying no. So yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. All right. You do a lot of sexual based workshops.
Yeah.
So could you talk a little bit more about a woman's perception of themselves and how they show up in the workshops that you actually do?
Yeah. So for a long time, I've been doing a blowjob workshop and and it's a lot of fun.
I could
But
imagine.
but my business partner and I originally started doing this workshop because in therapy, I was hearing so much of women coming and saying, "I don't really like giving head, but that's what he wants, so I just do it." And the guys are like, "Yeah, but she doesn't. I can tell she doesn't really like it."
And
So
we're not going to enjoy that
yeah,
unless you're
so
enjoying yourself.
both partners are not in agreement on it, right? And so or women had been in previous relationships where they were felt forced to do it.
Yeah.
So I really was trying to help them in therapy. My business partner is a sexual wellness coach, so she was seeing women say the same thing. So we were like, we should just create like a curriculum to teach women about how to give good blowjobs, but also about really learning to enjoy it. So when I started doing the workshop, it was interesting of how much it started to be like of a sexual confidence, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And a lot of women are like, yeah, I mean, this is not something that we're taught to do unless it's watching porn or through a partner. So we've talked about self-esteem and how women feel like this was only a service for the man. And we are now in the workshop teaching you to and be empowered by giving head and feel good that you have the control. You are controlling his orgasms, you're controlling his pleasure, and you should feel empowered by that.
Yeah.
And so just like really instilling that, but also teaching them how to feel really good about their skills and technique. And that just builds their sexual confidence for them to be feel really pleasured by the whole experience.
Do they get a certification?
They did not get a certification.
I think it would be very important, right,
Mm,
for us males to be able to decipher those that have been trained by a professional.
mm.
I think that would that would raise their stock
I know that
in our
there are
eyes.
classes that do give the certification.
Got
I
12,000.
I mean, I take the badge of honor when husbands call me or send me feedback, and it was
Girl,
yeah,
my
listen.
toes were curling.
I mean, there are plenty of times where I am at, like, I go to an event and some guy walks up and he's like, "My girl took your class. Thank you. Thank you very much. Y'all did a great job. Y'all was thorough." I've had a couple of guys let me know that they proposed to their girls. Like,
Off of a blowjob.
yeah, the skills have improved so much. He's like, "I'm ready to put a ring on it."
Oh my god.
So, like, those are my validation that we've done some things, but also, like, hearing how much men were shaming their partners into giving head was scary for me as a clinician. That is
Why are we
even
so dumb?
acceptable.
Why are we so dumb? You want her to do it more? Tell her how amazing she is. She'll be more into it. She'll be more invested.
No.
She'll become even greater because you're enjoying it and you're making her feel like she's the reason why.
No, these guys are telling them,
Don't.
my ex used to do it
Oh
like
my
this.
Jesus.
She used to do it like this and it was great. Or maybe you should watch this porn with me and do it like she's doing on the video. Like, it was frightening what was happening. And so I was glad that we could create a safe space where women could learn and feel good about, like, okay, like, this is how I could take control. This is how I do it. And this is going to be okay, And so yeah, I'm glad that we created that space. When I have done other, like, orgasm workshops or like masturbating workshops and things like that, I usually do have both the couples in there, not just women. And that talks a lot about just feeling good in your body, but also, like, how did we learn about masturbation or
Pornography.
orgasms? Pornography, right? Or
Which is catered to the males.
exactly.
Experts. Which is why
Exactly.
I am a big believer of ethical pornography.
Mhm.
Plus, I also like the storylines. I love storylines. How did you guys meet?
Yeah.
How did you get in the bed? Like,
Yeah.
I need a whole backstory.
Right. Just getting right to it is, we're cutting a whole bunch of stuff
It's
out.
whack. It's whack.
Yeah.
It's whack.
So I do try to, we in the workshop, like, really working together to have those conversations, because most of the time, like, people are just missing the mark on how did we arrive here.
Yeah.
And so we're really trying to create this sense of connectedness of, this is how you got here. This is how you hear each other, feel each other, and get on the same page. But also, like, this is how you start breathing more during these orgasms, and, like, really taking each other in, and, like, really just playing, like, tending to each other's needs to get there. And
We
so
need to collaborate on some.
yeah, definitely.
I have ideas.
Okay.
Also, I want to say, on behalf of all men, on behalf of my gender, to all the women that have been criticized for their sexual performance and that have been oppressed at the hand of our dumbass, I want to publicly apologize to you all. You deserve better. You deserve more understanding, more empathy, more compassion. And I hope that one day you are met with a partner that is willing to go above and beyond to help you reshape those experiences. So whenever you think of them, a positive memory comes up. One last question for you, right?
Yeah.
So since you teach a blowjob class,
Yeah.
again, I'm all about accountability.
Yeah.
Do you also teach a class on how men can better perform orally?
I do not.
Why not?
Been asked
We
this
want to
question
learn.
a lot.
You see. Us males that want healthier relationships also want to be better at pleasing our women.
Yeah.
The same way that a woman can feel empowered
Mhm.
by giving a blowjob is the same sense of empowerment that we also want to experience
Yeah.
when we're eating pussy.
Mhm. Mhm.
I want to be able to control her orgasm. I want to be able
Yeah.
to manipulate her orgasm as I wish.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Those are the moments where I want to be oppressive.
Yes. I'm love that for you. I love that. I have not taught that class because, one, the men, as I just said, they're too immature.
Are you kidding
sometimes
me?
to come
Are you
to a class like that.
generalizing?
Well, sorry, the ones who have sent me messages about wanting to learn appear to be very immature. or it just probably wouldn't be safe to have them in a room where I'm trying to teach a class like this. Because they're just so inappropriate. Yeah.
Can I try this on you?
Yeah, exactly. Those are, so I just haven't found that like
Should it be taught by a man?
I think it could be
Would
taught.
that be safer?
I think it could be taught by a man. I would even be like down to have like a lesbian woman teach it.
Ooh.
Right? So it's just about like it's a little different teaching that than it is teaching the blowjob class. But I definitely we've talked about it a lot of how that could look. But I do think there are different ways men can learn and
So let's change this narrative right here, right now.
Mhm.
You and I
Mhm.
are going to collaborate on a course.
Okay.
No, on a workshop
Mhm.
for men only on how to properly please the vagina
Okay.
orally.
Mm.
I'll be standing with you,
Okay.
and all males will be assessed by myself
Okay, yeah.
to ensure none of that nonsense
Right.
is going to take place.
Yeah.
I will have a number of males that are present and their main focus is to keep you and everybody that's participating safe.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we want to learn.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm top tier, but I can always learn, right? I've read some amazing books. I have a 5-minute routine. I got a 10-minute routine. I got a 15-minute routine,
Mhm.
right? But you're an expert. I want to learn. And I'm not telling her that I'm going to that course.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to just come back and be
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying?
It's pretty interesting. I think, like, even with the blowjob workshop, I've had men buy tickets for their wives before, or excuse me, for their wives and her girlfriends to go.
I don't know how women would receive that.
It definitely is twofold. Like, some women are like great; they're excited because it's a girls' day out that the husband planned, right? Or the other husband.
So blowjob class.
Yeah. Or the other husbands were also in on it. It's like, we're watching the kids. Y'all go into the workshop, have fun, see y'all when you get back. And then other women are like, yeah, I feel very
slighted.
I feel slighted. I feel unappreciated
Yeah.
that he would buy this for me. You know, I had a guy one time buy a ticket for his wife and his side chick.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He bought a ticket for he called and was like, I want to buy tickets. But I'm going to pay a little bit extra because I'm going to buy them for my wife and my side chick. I just need to make sure that they're not seated next to each other at the workshop. It's like, wow. So you want to benefit.
Speaking, what did you do?
I mean, I just upped the price. I just upped the price. I was like, I mean, I'm here to make accommodations.
It's not your dilemma. So
yeah. I mean, and I'm like, and you're benefiting from all these skills twice. Like, you're getting it from your wife and your side chick, and they both improving. Wow. Good for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do.
Definitely.
A lot of work.
Definitely.
Okay. Nonetheless, I just wanted to say thank you for being present. Thank you for driving all the way from DC to New York City so you can be part of this conversation.
Thank you.
It was very, very, very much needed, and I hope that we start changing our minds in regards to women and their bodies and how that directly affect the way that they show up sexually in relationships along within society.
Yeah.
Can you let people know where to find you?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the invitation. They can find me. I'll talk to the camera. You can find me in Virginia if you're in the Alexandria, Virginia area. But I'm always available for workshops. So you can email me at sextherapistjen at gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram at sextherapistjen, where I post a lot of content. And that's where you can keep up with me wherever I will be.
Yes. And this was another classic of Ménage À Mind.
On the next episode of Ménage À Mind.
Do you have any ways of releasing that?
Masturbation.
Can you take accountability for who you are? Would anyone consider your devotion possible love bombing?